this thing.
Because we have some bad footage.
I know. I'm Mike.
I'm Anna.
This is our 2020 Sprinter 170 4x4. And this is our
adventure van build.
That's right. Also a MotoVan. So we're going to add a little nuance to our adventure van and incorporate dirt bikes and mountain bikes and stuff like that.
So really, this is all about the garage.
All about the garage. This is a garage build.
It's definitely a garage build, but in a package that anybody's going to enjoy. So.
Okay.
There it is.
Hey.
Hey.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go pay.
Okay.
Shoot me. Biggest check I ever wrote. Ooh. Yep. So what do you want to talk about, Ann and Banana?
I don't know. I didn't know this was here.
Well, that doesn't have to stay here. This is to hook a hammock to.
Noise.
While I camp in the thing by myself.
Okay.
What's up, doggy? This is it. It's pretty boring right now. So you might be asking yourself, why white? Well, when you're looking for a 4x4 Sprinter van, you take what you can get. If it was pink, it would have been pink. Purple, it would have been purple. It's really hard to find a 4x4 Sprinter van, and especially in a 170 wheelbase. So if you could find one, regardless of the color, try to get it, because somebody else is going to be there with a big fat stack of cash who's going to put it over top of your bid. So just be ready. And white, here's the benefit with white. White does not collect heat nearly as badly as a black vehicle or a gray vehicle or what I like to call a sexy colored vehicle. White is better for heat. And since we're out here in the high desert, it's pretty important to stay as cool as possible, right? So we did opt for as few windows as possible with the idea that we would put in the windows that we need. We're gonna put in couple small acrylic windows. And with acrylic, you don't get as much radiation that comes through. So it's a bit better than a glass window. So we just put this ladder, and we got the rack half installed, and we're gonna go ahead and put some solar up there. The ladder is from a company in Washington called Flatline Van Company, and it's very reasonably priced. It's about half the price of a Luminous and even cheaper than some of the other options out there. It's not the most, how do I say this? It's not the most rugged ladder like you'd see with owl vans or something like that, but it's sturdy, it's aluminum, and it was about $500 with free shipping. And it came in 3 days. So we're in Colorado, this came from Washington in 3 days, and they're in stock. So Flatline Van Company, that's who did the roof rack as well. And what's cool about the roof rack is all of the cross members that aren't on the van right now are 80/20. So I like 80/20 because really with T-nuts you can connect anything to 80/20, and you have a lot of room to kind of design your roof space how you need it. According to your fans or your solar panels, you have the ability to connect just about anything to 80/20. As long as you can find some T-nuts, you're good to go. And it was cheap too. It was well, I say cheap. It was reasonable. It was very reasonable compared to some of the other options out there. And it fits our needs. I didn't really want a big giant Baja rack, having driven through Kansas in 140 mile an hour winds. The less weight I have on top of this thing, the less likely I feel like I'm going to die in a windstorm. So try to keep the weight low in a giant van like this. It's a sailboat.
So you can see we got this van that doesn't have any windows here. So like he said, this is just a cargo van without any windows in it whatsoever. Have some of the nice features up front, but nothing really in the back. It's your tripod. These do open all the way around.
All the way around.
which is actually pretty nice.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. These things go all the way, and it only does it some of the way and calls it all the way.
Oh, I'm
No
sorry.
big deal. They do.
It will
They
go.
do almost.
They do.
What's nice with them folding back, especially here in Wind City, Colorado, is that the door doesn't close and smash you in the face every time you open it. Obviously what we're seeing right now is a very cleaned out, panel-free, floor-free Sprinter. When we bought the Sprinter, it did have a floor in it, and we're going to end up using it as our subfloor. It also had panels all over every one of these blank spots that we may use as some form of template. Who knows? Point is, yesterday we cleaned all this stuff out because that's the first step in, well, it's the first step. Get all the old stuff out so you can put in new stuff. As you can see, we opted for the factory swivel seats. We're pretty excited about those. And obviously with the swivel seats, this makes this cockpit area an extra 2 feet part of your living space. So when you're building a MotoVan, it's going to take up a extreme amount of your back end of your van. So any amount of living space that we can have is good. So the cool thing about Sprinter vans is the ceiling is a lofty 6'4". So if you're not a giant goon, you could fit in this thing. And 6'4" is pretty tall. Anna is 5'4", so she's got at least a foot. Now once you once you take away an inch for insulation on the floor, and then you put some, 14-inch thick tongue and groove on the ceiling, you're not going to have as much headspace. But if you're careful and you're 6'2", you could easily fit in this van without hunching over,
Right.
like Quasimodo. So there we go. As far as electronics, this thing's pretty decked out for a van. It's pretty awesome. The stereo is the worst stereo I've ever had in any car I've owned, to include my 1987 Mercury Capri. Now this thing's a 170 wheelbase, so it's difficult. It's a difficult thing to maneuver around, especially with no windows. But when backing up, it's easy mode. Camera right here, right? And then you also have the overhead camera, which is just amazing. It gets you right in between the parking spot lines, and people don't hate you at the grocery store. Well, they probably do, because you stick out 3 feet into the aisle, but you can at least get in between the lines, which is, you're doing your due diligence on parking. We have all these different options. So we have a front view, we can see if there's any children playing underneath the front of the van. You have your side views, so if you're trying to squeeze in between two cars or the dog, you're going to make it. Here's your tow hitch, so you could just back this thing right up into the tow hitch area down here. It's great. This thing is amazing.
You can see where Golden Doodles walk around the whole.
Golden Doodle.
Ooh, she's a big one there.
It's a little fun house. But no, this is probably the one thing I love about this car. It's just the fact that I can see out the back camera when I'm backing up. So if you say, "Hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?"
Turn on passenger seat heaters.
I'm switching on the seat heating on the front passenger seat.
Nice.
Dope. And it's
It
60, 70 degrees out, and a seat heaters are on, so that's
Yeah.
good. So that's cool. It's not the best. You can't have, she won't roll down your windows, which I found super annoying, and really she just turns on your seat heaters. So it's pretty cool.
I know there's a lot of other women out there that are also thinking, like, this van is huge. Could I drive it? You can drive this car. You really could, especially with all the features that are on this. It's not difficult. The cruise control is fantastic. It's all, where it's the intuitive version. So it kind of slows down as you get it close to another car's bumper. So just lots of really cool features that this particular van has. And that was the big thing. It feels like you're driving a car.
The whole design we're doing in Sketchup, and I'll show you a little bit of it as I talk here. What we're going to have over here is our trunk section, all of our electric to one side, all of our water to the other side. Past the trunk section, we're going to come into our galley, and our galley is going to be on the passenger side of the van. We're going to have a sink. We're probably going to do an induction cooktop that just hangs out in a drawer when we're not using it. On the driver's side of the car, we're going to have our fridge. We're going to try to put it up as high as we can so we don't have to bend over. We're going to have some closet space beside that, and then we're going to have a seating area with an overhead above the seating area.
So on this side over here, we are looking at doing a bench that would be probably facing towards this door that opens, but it would have a lagoon table that we can then have sort of seating in this whole space. And then we can move our table to different spots throughout the van, which would maybe add some additional counter space, again, be a table, could be a desk space for somebody who might be working from home over here. Everything in this van, because of that dirt bike space, we kind of need everything else to be as efficient as possible. And being able to have that garage space where you can put not only the dirt bike, that's Mike's thing, he definitely wants the dirt bike there, but for me, I want skis in there, I want a bike in there, I want, you know, other outdoor equipment, but not the dirt bike. So.
Your skis can be up to 85 inches long.
I know, right? And tall. No.
I want the longest Nordic skis they make.
Right. So in order for this all to work, though, the other really cool thing that we're looking at doing is a lift bed. So we're looking at the Happy Jack brand to do that, but that'll be in one of the next couple of builds because we just heard that it's on its way to our house. So we should be getting that very soon, which is pretty exciting for us. But you can see how that'll all come together. So definitely a lot of unique things in this van compared to a lot of the other ones we've seen.
Now we will change this as we go. If we run into any snags, hey, we can't do this, we can't do that, we'll adapt. But this is what we're looking at right now. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please follow along as we go through this build. It's going to be an arduous process. Culminating over many, many weeks, perhaps, or months, not years.
No, definitely not yours. Better not be yours. Thank you for watching. If you feel like you like this video, we'd love you to hit that like button below, hit subscribe.
Yep, hit the notification bell. That's the most important part, notification bell. That way,
comments you want to write any questions.
Don't write any comments. No comments, please. Unless it's very positive. Follow us along on this van build, and appreciate you watching. Thanks.
Thank you.